Hey guys, Kuzo here, back with another stream. Good to see y'all here. I don't know why I said y'all, but I said y'all. But yeah, let me grab some links, shoot them up like I always do. Share, and we're gonna get to it. Go to the Instapinstas. Not Pinterest. Just Insta, but the Instapinsta. Shoot that up. Let's go to the Tweeter Twatters. And tweet. Cool. Alright, looks like we're all set. And we can get rolling. If you see me do that, my nose has been bothering me today. Hey, what's up, Carlos? Let some people roll in here. Indian ink. Okay, yeah. It's doing alright. What's up, Jojo? What's up, C4Nlux? I don't know if I was supposed to say it like that, but I said it like that. What's up, Nano? What's up, XE1 Erate? I don't know. I'm gonna butcher names like always. Bill and Joey. What's up, M7MD Cryptic? What's up, Mikhail? What's up, the Blue Winged One? Good to see you. I remember your name. What's up, Fno Fusion? What's up, Asai? What is up, everyone? Dropping in here. Good to see everyone. Echo Wassart. I'm going to sleep in like 5 minutes, but I just wanted to pop in. Well, thank you very much for popping in. Alright, I do a little bit of stuff. Are you doing a Webtoon this time? It's not, I mean, if you call it, it's not for Webtoons, it's for Voice Me. But, yeah, it's technically the Webtoon format, yes. I've noticed people call, even if it's not on Webtoons, sometimes they'll call it a Webtoon. Just because they've dominated the market, for the time being. But yeah, it's with a company called Voice Me, and you can go check them out, search them up. I need to actually start putting their link in. I'm gonna probably start doing that with this video. I'm gonna start putting the link in the description to their website. But this series doesn't currently actually. I'm gonna put a link to this series once the series actually launches, which will be very soon here. I'm not allowed to, I don't think I'm allowed to say exactly what time, but I can say for certainty it should be this month. So, pretty big certainty. Let's go here. Let's get up this just a little bit. Let's grab some of this R here. And expand. Because I need to, even if I don't completely expand it too much, I need to pull it forward. Because I need to show that that little part so that at least it reads as somewhat of an R. There we go. Where can I read Madgate? You can read it on Voice Me. I should really have like Voice Me like pulled up on here. I don't know if I can. Maybe I'll pull it up later. I don't know what references I might have on. You know, it's funny when people are like afraid to pull up their, like, if they don't have everything like cleared out or something on their browser history, people assume that like there's something extracurricular that's on there. And it's like, no, that's not quite it. There's things that YouTube, like for reference wise, just in general, if YouTube sees like even a slightly nude thing that's not even like nude, they register it as bad stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh, people in like their panties and bras and some stuff like that sometimes. Like those people those pose people you see on Twitter. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those people, but they're pretty skimping on the clothing, but they're very specifically for pose reference. I've never actually used them, but I've seen them and I was like, oh, that's cool. Okay, what's up, Dumplings Shop? I will be there. No, I'm kidding. What's up, Eddie? You got 79 people in here. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. It's nice to see so many people dropping in. Good night. I'm Brazilian. It's going to be a little difficult to talk around here. Yeah, I guess you guys are probably in a pretty different time zone. Kuzo, can you please show me how to draw a skeleton head? I actually have like a video on how to draw heads, and I think I have like 2 or 3 of them. I know one of the 3 or 2. It shows me literally breaking down the most simplified version of the skeleton kind of structure. So I would suggest for a quick, more comprehensive version of that, for that. I actually have a live stream that I did a while ago, which I'm better than I was then, obviously, but it was still the general concept as well. But you could always look up how to draw heads in any angle or something like that, and you'll probably find something of mine. And I only have a few videos of heads. I have a really basic one from the front, and then I have one on how to kind of draw it from any angle. And I mean, basically, I separate how to draw the jaw, and I separate how to draw the top of the head as a skull. And then basically I say this is how you rotate it in perspective based on simplified shapes, and it helps quite a bit. But I will be having something come soon that will be somewhat similar. I'm not going to break it down as in depth as those videos, but I planned on doing for those of you who are here and watching the stream, I planned on, sorry, I was pulling my leg up to be more comfortable and probably eventually get blood clots in my legs, but past that. Yeah. So I was actually going to try to do a video soon of just like a simple head angle that a lot of people have a hard time with. Specifically like a heads in the 3/4 position, quick tutorial thing. That's what I was planning on doing. I thought it would be fun, and that way it would be something quick to get the ball rolling. I think I might have mentioned that last time, but I'm actually I actually started like just drawing out some stuff. I also have another video that I think is going to be really cool. I have a few videos that I think are going to be really cool that I'm going to start rolling out. Because I was looking through my YouTube idea notebook that I have again, and I was like, yeah, these are good. We should do this. Alright, let's see. How do you make a character look more interesting when I try to end up just giving them a hoodie? Well, there are definitely a lot of other ways to do that, but you're gonna have to learn shape design is a big part in that. Shape design, and in general, just clothing design. And it depends on like the era and stuff like that. And, like bringing in different shapes into something that is normal. Like you can make a really unique hoodie if you use different shapes and different things put on the hoodie and stuff like that, stylistically. Yeah, designing in general, there's no real general way to just say this one thing really quickly and then it's all said and done, because there's so many aspects that can go into designing, especially depending on the era. and like big, medium, and small is a big thing that I always kept around for designing, and also variation, but not too much, not too many things on a design. You'll notice when you start studying more designs across the board, you'll notice that manga designs are intentionally created more simple for two reasons. One, they're drawing the character over and over again, so they want it to be more simple, easier to draw. Two, easier to read as well as a character. So the silhouette being one of the more important things, and some sort of trademark thing that you can really tell it's that character, you know. And then you go to video games, and you'll typically see the detail level is put up to 11 sometimes. Like, specifically, if you look at something like Monster Hunter, Final Fantasy, those are typically not something you would see in a manga. It's obviously possible to see them in a manga, but typically their designs are a little bit more complicated. What's up, 84 people in here? Good to see everybody. Thank you for dropping in. Kuzo, do you finish any manga I can read? I have a few that are from other companies, but this one specifically is, don't worry, you're going to have panels and panels and panels of this coming very soon. Yeah. So basically, this is going to be debuting weekly. So you're going to get 50 panels a week, roughly, of this. So, yeah. And it's not just me, it's me and a team of like 7 other people. Sometimes 7, sometimes like 5. It depends. I don't think anyone's going to go and buy an NFT here, to be completely honest. So, first of all, don't advertise yourself, because that's just, it's not, it's a cry of desperation. If you want to get people to buy your stuff, first of all, 1, be good. 2, build a fan base. Those are the 2 things. That's all you actually really need. So, I've never heard of shape design. Good to know. Yeah, definitely go ahead and look it up. And I don't know exactly if you'll find exactly the stuff I'm talking about, but hey, what's up, Louie? Good to see you in here. But it is definitely a thing, and it's a huge thing in like Disney, because you'll notice that, like, just in general, more villainous people will have much more angular shapes all around. In general, it's not always a certain, but they will have more angular shapes to most of their character, or at least somewhat around their character within, even if it's not their face. A lot of time it'll be maybe in their eyebrows, in their clothing. It's really interesting stuff, and also just in general, the balance of shapes, where I said big, medium, and small. You don't want to have like overwhelmingly all big stuff on a character. Typically there's a bit of a balance. Of course, there's ways to break these rules in every single scenario, even with when people give you coloring rules, when people give you inking rules. There's always going to be ways to break them, and there's always going to be an exception. But there's a reason why there are generalized rules or cookie cutter molds to shonen series, but then they add like some sort of original element to it that completely changes it and makes it its own. So, yeah. Because I know someone out there is going to be like, that ain't true, bruh. I am the internet guy that knows everything. I know everything. In other words, I don't know anything. Because I am internet boy. Oh my gosh, I should make internet boy. Does Louis have a YouTube channel? I do not know. He doesn't have a TikTok though. And an Instagram. Hey, we got 100 people in here. Good to see everybody. Hey, what's up, Jordy? What's up, Joker? What's up, Journaling with Love? What's up? How do you feel to build a fan base? Okay, first of all, if you want to build a fan base, you draw stuff, you post it, and you slowly try to get better. Building a fan base doesn't happen overnight, especially if you're a beginner artist. Building a fan base is something where, okay, for example, Louis in chat here, he has been slowly getting better, but he's been posting the whole time. By the time he's good enough to really pop off, I'm not talking about where he's at right now, he already started popping off even before the time I started popping off. Like, and that's a testament of doing the work, putting stuff out there. And by the time he's ready for full-on professional commissions, he's already going to be at a level in his social media that he's going to start getting those reach outs. The whole point, anything in life, is do it. Like, it's like, how do I get better at shooting this basketball into this hoop? Let me see. Maybe I should shoot this basketball into this hoop hundreds of times and try to analyze when I miss it what I'm doing wrong, and also research it. This is literally anything in life. This is math. This is science. This is cooking. You make a mistake, you try to figure out what you did wrong, and by the way, I don't want people to think I was saying Louis not like professional or something. Louis is going to be over here like, what you saying about my art, man? Brah. Like, what? But no, I was just using him as an example because if you go look at his TikTok, it blew up. Like, I wasn't able to grow that fast. And that's because TikTok is a very good engine to grow on. You also want to know where to go as well. That type of thing. See, the better you get at a craft, the more you realize that everything is the same. I'm talking about pretty much mostly any craft. Because you realize it's all about trial and error and figuring out what mistakes you made and then trying not to make those mistakes again. That is literally everything in life. That's relationships. That's eating habits. That's, waking up late or not, procrastinating and not doing work when you're supposed to. Like, everything. It's way more simple than you think. The only difference is you actually have to put in the work. And also, work smart and hard. Smart or not harder is good, but I would say work smart and hard, because that you'll get further that way. By the way, sometimes I do have to say, don't always wish to just be that person that has a fan base and be like, oh man, I really want a fan base. I really want to be bigger. Because let me tell you, I've watched way too many creators get way too big, way too fast. And I'm telling you now, you're not used to the type of people that come around when you get that big. You get people saying things that are completely untrue about you. You get a type of notoriety and criticisms that you're not used to. You get hundreds of thousands of people looking at your stuff, and you get people who just don't understand. And it can be hard. It can be hard. So be careful what you wish for. I was just rambling there. Hey, what's up, Marv? Says Kuzo. And I suck at math. Yes, I do too. But the great thing about math is there's only one answer. And don't try to tell me some roundabout way of how 4 plus 4 can equal 3. Okay? There's obviously I've seen memes that are kind of like that, someone doing some long equation to get it, but I'm saying generalized, there is one answer to an equation. Oh, that's why I hate TikTok. Yeah, so TikTok is great for growing, but it's also very most platforms are pretty toxic. Hey, 120 people in here, 94 likes. Remember to hit that like button, guys. It always helps the stream grow, and it's a free way to support. So thank you if you do. Hey Kuzo, what pen is that? This is the G pen. Well, it's actually the mapping pen. You can use the G pen. G pen works just fine. But these are the settings. You can clip it, you can rewind it. It's there. No real secret. I just played around with the settings and got what I wanted. This isn't even the pen I actually used to ink the whole series with. I still haven't... Oh, there's an ambulance outside. I still haven't brought it over to this iPad. The iPad I normally use is up here, being the camera for this. I'm looking forward to starting my comic. That's awesome to hear. Do you take this long to ink? Question mark. I mean, I can go faster, I can go slower. I am also talking the whole time I'm streaming, so keep that in mind. If you ever want to know what it feels like to stream and talk like this, go ahead and try to comprehensively talk about a subject like I was talking about and actually make points that make sense while you're drawing everything. So, yeah. You also got to keep in mind, I'm inking from something that is not a tight ink as well, or a tight sketch. This is relatively not clean. But you do what you do. I've inked from dirtier sketches before, though, which I will be showing once those chapters come out. I'll show you guys some of the stuff, and I'll go through some of my process and stuff like that. I'll probably do a more comprehensive version of that. I actually have to check if I can do that with my publisher, if I'm allowed to show a more comprehensive version of like my process. No, I guess I could show it on YouTube. I was thinking about having a longer version on my Patreon, but I don't know if I can actually do that, because technically I'm not selling content that hasn't been out there. But I don't know. Let's see. Well, no. Yeah, well, yeah. Let's keep that. Let's go and do this. Also, another thing, it's funny, things like that come around when someone says something like that. They may not even take into account that I've only slept 3 hours and I've actually been working all day. So, yeah. Kudos! I got bullied off TikTok. Ooh, that's no good. I'm sorry to hear that. Man, you go to things for the tips. Hey, no problem. A lot of it's more straightforward than you think. Yes, there's little niches, there's little things, there's little divots, there's always more you can get into, but you have to start with the basics of doing the stuff first, and you can slowly start asking deeper questions, because on the surface level questions of, well, how do I build a fan base? The first question you should be asking yourself, how much am I posting? How good am I compared to my peers? Don't compare yourself in an unhealthy way, but compare yourself in a realistic way. So one of the biggest things is when someone says, as a concept artist, they ask this person that's on a live stream, they're like, how do I know I'm ready? And it's like, okay, you want to know how you're ready? Go find those people that are professional concept artists in that industry and truthfully ask yourself, how close am I to this person? And if you're relatively close to that person, I'm saying in generalized quality, not because there's people who will be in the industry and you'll see things that they do that you're like, man, I just don't know how they do that. But you have to be you have to stand back and ask yourself, how close am I to this person's generalized quality? Because experience is something I can really only get in the field. To know specific things and to make try to avoid these specific mistakes during specific scenarios during a project. But same thing with manga. How do I know if I'm ready to do a manga? First of all, your first manga is always going to suck typically. But if you're talking about when am I ready to realistically enter a competition and think I can win, look at the professionals and ask yourself, where do I sit between the worst one I've seen and the best one I've seen? You got school in 2 hours? Oof, that sucks. Hopefully it's not too bad for you, man. iPad ads are attacking my brain daily, and I don't know which one to get as a budget, starting artist, and recommendations for an iPad that runs Clip Studio Professional. So I would have to say pretty much any of the newer generation iPads that are even the budget ones will run Clip Studio just fine. They'll run Clip Studio just fine. If you look up Brad Tablet reviews, he has a lot of reviews. I don't know what your budget is, but really, I'm telling you now, like, that is actually wrong. It should go like this. Yeah, he has a lot of good videos, but most of the iPads nowadays are going to not. You want to be careful with the. If you get any of the budget ones nowadays, they're going to run Clip Studio. The thing is, with the iPads, they're extremely optimized for specific softwares, and they're very optimized for the things that are put on it. Yes, there are some exceptions where I've used something that you think would be good, and it was a port from desktop, and it wasn't really that great. But let me tell you, this Clip Studio is freaking nuts. There might be some bottlenecks, but these newer generation ones, I think just recently a new iPad came out. It's supposed to be another budget one. I can't remember exactly how much it is, but it has the new M1 chip in it. It's gonna push like a freaking truck, and it's even better than the new iPad Air, I think that they're calling it. Most of these are gonna run Clip Studio just fine, unless you're doing like layers and layers and layers. That's the only thing you have to worry about is huge files and huge layers. And nowadays, people aren't really working on very big files. They are for some print stuff, but a lot of the stuff nowadays is going super digital and it's a lot smaller. But I would say, yeah, you should be fine with most of those, and you'll be pretty happy, especially if if you're kind of an artist that's somewhat beginner, intermediate, and you're looking to go and get something that's going to carry you for a little while for digital art. I guarantee a lot of people think to themselves, like, man, I need to get something so that way I could be able to do commissions and stuff. And what they don't realize is, depending on really what level they're at, they're not going to be doing any real heavy, like, professional big canvas commission works for like at least a year to like 3 years, depending. Like, realistically, like 3 years. And when I say big on professional work, I'm talking about like studio work, because you might get people who will like ask you for like character designs here and there or something like that, or even manga pages can be handled just fine. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Like, for example, I'm thinking back to myself when I first wanted a digital device, or I wanted something to be able to, like, I didn't really want one, but I was desiring the ability to not have to buy ink and stuff. at that point in my life, I was not good enough to actually get any commissions. In fact, it took me a long time to even, after that, it took me about 3 years to even, when I started wanting that stuff, it took me about 3 years to even get to the level of being able to get some, uh, just internet commissions, which typically they don't require you to do like massive canvases. Um, and then past that, like what I'm trying to say is, you're gonna be okay. Most like iPads, for the most part, the ones that support the Apple Pencil, it's like they're really good. And they'll last you a while. iPads typically don't crap out on you. Hey Kuzo, it's great to see you on a stream. And how are you doing so far? I'm doing all right. Doing all right. A little tired today, but I'm doing all right. I did a commission but never got paid. Yeah, that's never fun. That's never happened to me, only because I always required them to pay at least half up front, over a certain amount. So basically, if it's under a certain amount, I'm gonna say I require full payment up front. And the way that you can do that with making the commissioner feel comfortable is typically having some sort of portfolio out there. Also, slowly, obviously you start off with lower commission prices, so you end up getting people that are like, oh, okay, so you're doing it, it's not that much money to pay at once, so yeah, I'll pay that. And then you slowly end up also building up a portfolio of commissions where they're like, okay, they actually finished their commissions, and so you can slowly up that threshold. But in general, if you did want to do split payments, I personally would be like, okay, if we're gonna do this, we want to put it half down. I'm gonna do a sketch, and then maybe partial ink, depending on what you're doing. Let's say it's a full color. Let's do a sketch and then ink, and then I'm not gonna move on to the color until I get the other half. Some people would say when I finish, I get the other half. Depends. I would almost put it in the perspective as saying you're commissioning me for sketch and ink, and then once I hit that, you can commission me for color, and then I'll do that. At least they see that you delivered the first half, and then they deliver the other half. That's how I go about it. A lot of other people will do it the other way, where they get half up front, half when you finish. The higher your prices get, the more professional the commissioners are. Most of the time when your prices are lower and you're a little bit more intermediate, you're going to be dealing with these people that are, some people that are really weird, stingy, very shady. Just gotta watch out for that stuff. But bro, the exposure. Oh man. Hmm. 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 So it's going this way. This way. Yeah, I think it's gonna. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it that way. Got to put the belt buckle in. Do you commission time to time? I do commissions time to time. I was thinking about maybe opening them soon. I know I keep on saying that, but I've been trying to get a balance of a schedule and an idea of exactly what I want to do between um, YouTube, this, Patreon, and then commissions at the end. Because Patreon, I got a lot of stuff for them as well. I actually have a sheet for them already, and I got like 100 and something pages, 100 and like 70 pages, but I'm probably going to break that up into 2 parts that I need to post on there. I was also thinking about with my manga, my personal manga, slowly, since this is going to be being pushed out at a specific rate, I was thinking about taking my personal manga and also, while just doing like, even if it's like a page a week or like panel updates, actually doing those panel updates on there for them, so they get some sort of exclusive stuff that's just like my stuff, and then eventually it would go out to public, but once it's finished, so that way it gives some incentive for me to keep working on it for them, regardless of how busy I am with this, so that way people can get this and that and everything in the world. The word. How to draw the shoulder and neck in perspective? Kind of broad question, because it's like, how many perspectives are there? Yeah, what happened with the Discord server? Are you a Patreon member? Hold on now. See, that's the thing. There's a few things I wanted to add on. I might just, I should look up the one thing I wanted to add on, and then just get that on there, and then just launch it, because it's pretty much just ready, and it'll be fun to hop on there and like see your guys' posts with each other. That would be really cool. How long did it take you to get down the fundamentals of drawing a figure? It took a long time. That was me stumbling over my words. Yeah, it took me a while, because it was before I really knew what to do to get better, and yeah, so it took me longer than a normal person, and I'm also not the brightest tool in the shed. Or at least I don't feel like it. Basically, because there's so much to go along with it, like learning like anatomy and stuff. If you don't understand like form, it depends on how far into anatomy you're even talking about. If you don't know form very well, and you don't know your basic shapes and perspective, your understanding of anatomy is going to be very limited in perspective. Very limited. Honestly, a lot of these like really natural artists, other than being really creative, because I do believe there's some aspects of natural aspects to being an artist. Like, some people can be a little bit more natural than others, and it's proven out there to be the case. But there are a lot of self-made artists that really just worked for it. But there are some people that it just comes to them a little quicker. And I think those people, typically, from what I really feel like this is the case, they just have their mind has a better understanding on how spatial reasoning works in this type of thing. Like, they're able to comprehend perspective and stuff like that a little bit easier without, it just kind of comes to them easier with all that stuff. So what happens is, this is my opinion, I don't know if this is true, but I feel like they can understand the fundamentals a little easier maybe than the average person, which allows them to just be creative a little easier in the long run. So it all just kind of comes down a little easier. So for example, if you wanted to feel more like the natural artist, if you freaking, this would make you feel horrible as an artist. This is a really grueling process, but if you wanted that natural artist feeling without actually being a natural artist, if you grinded away at the fundamentals and you just learn them, like hardcore learn them, guess what's going to happen? When it comes to everything else, you aren't going to have to think about perspective when you go to do it. You can just go and be creative. And if you got that down sooner, those fundamentals, like, I always kind of say that, like, fundamentals, like, really strong fundamentals is the difference between a really good artist and, like, a master. I really feel like that is the case. Okay, I'm kind of just jumping around now. My mind's kind of like going, bleh. Some coffee. Hey Kuzo, how do you draw clothes folds? I do actually have a whole thing on my Patreon for that if you want to go check out my Patreon. But generalized, I like to call them pinch and pull. So, you have a pinch, you have a pull here. If your arm's doing this, you're going to have a pinch here. This is the pull. This is going to be where most of the wrinkles are. And then there's also a lot of variation to this. This is a generalized idea of it. You can see the rest of it on my Patreon. But yeah, that's the generalized idea. And there's kind of a balance to clothes wrinkles that I do to help me, that I share on there. You may say, I don't have money, I'm sorry, Kuzo. Don't worry. Just search it up on YouTube or something. Or just search it up on Pinterest and study this stuff. Slowly you'll start finding patterns. That's what I did, to be honest. It takes time. Wait, what is this? Why is there a grayed out area? Did I accidentally hit this with the airbrush? Do you see that? There's a slight gray here. What the heck? Uh-oh. That's not good. Interesting. Okay. Let's go there. Don't worry, if you guys are thinking the same thing as me, I see it. This is not centered. All right. Do you believe that self-studies coming up with your own construction and drawing helps to learn and remember things? I believe that if you go and study things and you use someone else's method and you think it works for you, that's great. And then guess what happens? You end up seeing someone else's method, and then you're like, ooh, I like this that they're doing there. It totally makes sense. You end up merging it with your own method. I believe that you will eventually grow into your own methods from methods of other people. And using other people's methods will help you do things a little faster. Though that, honestly, those are the only shortcuts, I would say, is those small methods of knowing that if you can learn how to draw this cube in any perspective, you technically have the ability to then put in a whole thing here where you put a straight line down there, you put a straight line right there, that means an eye goes here, that means an eye goes here, let's put an ear right there. Now, if you learn how to create a skull out of this box, which by the way I have a YouTube video on, it's one of the how to draw heads in any angle video, I end up teaching you how to draw the simplified skull in perspective. I teach you how to draw the jaw. Yeah. That's the biggest shortcut, I would say, is fundamentals and learning how to shape. It's almost like sculpting. For me, at least half of the time it takes to finish a piece is just cleaning up. Yeah, I feel you. I mean, that used to be a big thing. So one of my biggest problems when I was going to color, and I use coloring as an example here because I would be able to ink something a little faster, but I would be able to ink something decently fast, but sometimes when it came to the coloring, I would take hours and hours and hours, and eventually over time, I ended up realizing to get to that one result I was looking for, I was doing all these other steps that were technically trial and error. So I ended up eventually developing my own system to get that end result with less steps. Instead of 30 steps that were trial and error, I narrowed it down to 5 steps. And that's when my colored illustrations went from 8 to 10 hours down to 5 to 3 hours. And yeah, it depends on the illustration, but a system is always extremely important in a lot of things in your life, for scheduling, for working, for just doing stuff. Yeah. Okay. I haven't really been looking at chat that much. I've been trying to get stuff done because I actually wanted to get quite a bit of my these last few panels done tonight. Liking the new thumbnails. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I don't know if you mean for this video, but I'm going to be able to use more thumbnails of my actual web comic coming here soon once we launch it completely. Didn't want to spoil too much. Can you please show us last page you did in Sketchbook? Oh, in my my really big one? If you want to see that, you could actually just go to the video, because I I showed all of the pages there, but on my Patreon they'll be there to stay forever for you to see. Yeah, I actually realized the other day when I was looking through some stuff, I actually have more sketchbooks that I haven't showed all the pages of, even on my Patreon. I'm going to have to look through and find out which ones I need to actually do past the 300 one. I actually have more of the 600 page sketchbook, because that's 600 page sketchbook. But yeah, I don't know. We could get that stuff rolling. Which direction did this go? I can't remember which direction this went. Let's go here. Okay, it goes that direction. Alright, like elevator pina colada music. Got 129 people in here. Good to see everyone with 192 likes. Thank you very much. We're going to read your manga. So this one is going to be published on Voice Me. You can look them up. They actually have an app and a website. Your vids show your art journey and how perspective was the missing ingredient, changed my my perception of drawing and helped me actually get better. Yeah, it's true. If anyone wanted to see the difference in what perspective did for me, you can actually watch some of my first videos, and if you watch those videos and then you go to like my video, my bigger video that hit like over 1 million, the learn how to draw anything, the over 1 million one, because it was the first one I did of that. It was me breaking down how I basically learned how to draw. I learned how to teach myself how to draw, and you see a huge improvement in my work after that moment, and also a little bit before that moment, because that was before I actually made the video. But and I didn't want to make that video until obviously I realized that that was literally the missing ingredient there. And basically, it's not just perspective, it's fundamentals. I harp on perspective because perspective is the base for everything else to lay upon. Form is literally the more complicated version of perspective. Form and perspective are little two peas in a pot. Or peas in a pod? I don't know. They go hand in hand. And then you'll be like, what about value? Value, you don't need to know. No, you know what? Value goes on top of form, which is what makes something actually looks like it's even in perspective. There's little things you can get away with for a long time without knowing perspective perfectly. Because I've seen artists that way better than me at like painting, and then I saw them go and do like a perspective because they were going to practice it, and they haven't really done it that much, and I was over there like, whoa, hold on. Okay, I'm not sure what just happened with what they're doing. Like, I didn't expect them to make such a mistake when they're doing it, and I was like, holy moly. And that's when I realized they were leagues and bounds better than me at painting. Just astonishingly better. Like, it's not even funny. But that's why certain skills don't translate in certain situations. Just because you know how to chop down a tree with a frickin' axe doesn't mean you know how to hit a home run, you know? You're both using something that you're swinging, but it doesn't always translate right away. But if someone's sitting there lumberjacking trees away, but if they learn the accuracy of hitting a baseball, they might be able to frickin' hit that harder than the baseball player. That's one of the things where not everyone learns skills equally. Like, someone could learn how to draw really proportionate faces with really good ratios, but not know perspective very well. But this person knows like a certain amount of facial positions, and they know how to draw them really good, and they look really nice. But then there's a person who didn't learn those facial ratios, and their faces look a little derpy, but they know perspective way more. So guess what's going to happen in the long run if they both want to meet in the middle of the road at some point? The person who doesn't know doesn't know the perspective, they're going to have to go and learn the perspective. The person who knows the perspective, that's going to be out of the way as much, and on the form, and they're going to be able to learn those ratios a little easier. Yeah. For example, with coloring for me, I primarily learned how to do black and white before I learned how to do coloring. And so when I went to learn how to do coloring, most of the stuff I learned about how to do coloring, I learned within... Of course, I got bits and pieces of knowledge throughout the time I went on, but the majority of what I learned about coloring came from this 3 to 4 month span of time where I had already learned a bunch about form and a bunch about perspective, and I knew a little bit about coloring, but I needed to know the fundamentals of coloring all the way up to the more advanced stuff to at least understand what I was doing and what I was doing with these colors. And yeah, basically having that base, I was able to take the drawings that looked decent, and I was eventually able to learn, color theory and value and stuff like that pretty quickly. I got a pretty decent idea of it within like the first 4 weeks, and then from there it was trying to perfect a better understanding of it to like a bit deeper level, and just conceptually with like color theory is pretty, it's a very subjective thing, because you could say, well, someone might think this looks better than this color looks better with other things, but it's pretty known that some colors look better with other colors, but it's also to the beholder of, you know, whoever's looking at it. But that's why it's called color theory. Art is a specialized skill. Not every artist can do everything. Yes and no. I would say not every artist can do everything to the exact same level. I can say every artist could probably do everything. And I say it like that because I believe if you work hard enough at anything, you can do something someone else is doing, but it doesn't mean you'll do it in the same amount of time. It doesn't mean you'll do it in the exact same quality, but it means you can do it. And I'm talking about within like margins. Like, for example, so Anthony Jones, he's a concept artist, and he does more like creature concept art. You can see me just kind of petting these lines now. I'm kind of just like, my mind's dying. Anthony Jones, he likes to really stress how it's just like learning. He teaches stuff. He teaches a lot of students, and he's also a concept artist. And basically, like, he just works at it, and he can paint so fast, it's crazy. But yeah, Anthony Jones is a really good example of just he takes trial and error, and this is pretty much every artist. When you look at him, modern day James, any good artist is going to tell you it's trial and error. You basically learn how to like not do the same mistakes, and you get it down to the point where if you're able to, this is a mistake, finished result. If you can learn how to not make these two mistakes at least, then you got 3 steps. Kind of do this, then you only have 2 steps. But typically it really depends on, like, for example, if something takes, so coloring, flats, shades, highlights, coloring effects. If you make mistakes, here are mistakes. If you can eliminate half of these mistakes, that's probably a little more than half, you're already doing better. You eliminate these all together, you have these. That's the whole point. You want to get to the end result, you want to try to eliminate as many mistakes as possible. That's why creating a system is so important. Let's go here. I got a super chat. Thank you very much from Komi Call. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. You didn't say anything, but I do appreciate it. You can always say something with your super chats when you send them in. Thank you very much. Do you plan on getting submitted to a Japanese publisher? And nice FLCL posters. Thank you very much. That was a really fun one. I painted that like 2 years ago or something on Procreate. But yeah, thank you very much. No, I'm not particularly in the moment planning on trying to go for any Japanese publisher. It's not really. If you actually want to, I think it's in my last 2 streams. There was a stream that I actually talked all about the Western industry and what's most viable for a Western artist. Yes, it is possible to get into a Japanese company. Is it is it the smartest decision? Probably not. It's going to be much easier to try to go into an industry that you can speak the same language as the people that you're working with. You can do it. Obviously, there's instances of people doing it, but the threshold to actually do it is much, much, much higher. When you could go ahead and try to hone your skills while doing stuff with companies that you can actually be with much sooner, because basically to get with those Japanese companies, you're going to have to be at the cream of the crop. You're going to have to be at the top of the top of the top of the game to get with those publishers. Like, there's no room to be this, there's no room for just mistakes, you know. Of course, yeah, there can be mistakes, but you're competing with people that are at such a high level that if you're not at that level, you might as well go and try to do something in a company that it's just the manga industry is so high level. Bakuman, if you read Bakuman, I've had people that live in Japan that have talked to like assistants and mangakas. They say that is a glorified, simple version of how hard it is to actually become a manga artist in Japan. Especially if you're talking about getting into Shonen Jump. So those people, yeah, it's possible, but no, I'm not going to do that. Anthony Jones is a different type of beast, also super humble guy. Yeah, he's a really nice guy, and he's humble, and he's humble because he understands, you know, I don't know. People are humble for different reasons, but he's really good. How'd you make your mapping pen have texture? It's actually a very simple answer. It's the random feature. That's all you gotta do. The random feature, and you can tweak this to whatever you want, and it gives it texture. Um, give me just a second, guys. I'm back. What mangas have you read before, Kuzo? I mean that's even a more of a broad question. Naruto, Bakuman, Death Note, some of Evangelion. Even though I have all of the manga, I don't know why I haven't read all of it. I'm repositioning real quick. Sorry. All right, I read a lot of stuff. Some of Bleach, a lot of One Piece. Blows my mind that Bakuman is easier than reality. Well, it's true. I mean, the thing is, there's people who work themselves to. Ooh, I need to close my door a little bit more. I don't want the doggy getting in here. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. There's people who literally work themselves to death to try to create a hit series and make themselves a full-time mangaka. They never get there. You don't hear those stories. You only hear the success stories. There's people who literally become Okay, look in the beginning. Saiko's uncle. Look at that. There are people who maybe make a break, get a little series, get canceled, they keep on working at it to try to make it, and they end up just dying to never make it. Or they end up giving up. Like, for example, it's insane to think about, but I always bring up the example of Horikoshi said that when he was submitting My Hero Academia, he was ready to quit manga if that one didn't go through. Same thing for the guy who created Attack on Titan, which, by the way, just letting you know, he went to other publishers with Attack on Titan, and they rejected it. That's something to keep in mind. And the guy from Attack on Titan was also saying the same thing. He was ready to quit manga if Attack on Titan wasn't accepted and all that stuff. Like, there are so many people who did not get that break who did quit. And that doesn't just go for manga. That goes for freaking writers too. Like, look at Harry Potter. Do you know how, if you've ever looked into her story, she went to so many publishers that turned that down. The publisher that finally took it obviously was like, like in the end, they hit it, man. But there's so many publishers out there that are probably like, wow, what did we miss out on? And they did. And it's just how the industry is. Some like companies just don't want to take the risk, you know? And so they reject these things, or they think it's not going to be popular or whatever, and you just don't make your break. And a lot of this stuff sounds like super depressing, but I'm going to be real. I've thought about making a YouTube video like this, talking about the industry like that and how harsh it can be. But I don't know. Basically, the truth is not everyone's going to make it. That's just the plain truth. If you want to hear it, you don't want to hear it, then you hide from it. But it's just the plain truth. Not everyone can make it in life. Someone's going to be the plumber. Someone's going to be the trash man, although they make some pretty good money. Dangerous job, though. Someone's going to be the McDonald's manager, which, by the way, McDonald's managers that are higher up make a pretty decent salary, not going to lie. Can you provide a quick note on perspective? I would suggest to go watch my How to Draw Anything series. 1 and 2, it breaks down the simple version of perspective, and then in the second one breaks down form. So if you go watch that, you get a better comprehensive view into perspective than what I can just give you right now. But yeah, and also if you need to know more deeper stuff, you can go and just search it up on YouTube. You can find some stuff. Alright, let's keep on going here. Alright. Have you read Chainsaw Man? I have not. I see that's an absolute win. Loco Loco. Have you read One Punch Man? I have a little bit. I watched the first season too, and I've read a little bit of it. Wow, so glad I found your stream. I've never thought of a mangaka streaming what he does. Well, thank you for coming in. I'm glad you're here. I wouldn't consider myself a mangaka, but blows my mind. Oh yeah, I already read that. Why do you choose making manga digitally? Speed, money. There's a very small distinction of what digital manga looks like compared to traditional nowadays. Like for real. There's a huge, you can make digital manga look so close to traditional, it's not even funny. Like, there's a lot of people who don't know what I do is digital when it comes to my manga stuff. Maybe this one? I don't know. I'm talking a lot. Nice FLCL poster? Well, thank you. Where are you seeing this FLCL poster? I haven't posted that in a long time. Is that on my, like, banner or something? I don't understand what's going on. Oh, yeah. For example, like this. Like, when you look at this, it doesn't look like it's done digitally. And it's because of the pens I use. I use pens that make it look like something that's just been scanned in. And I use it because time saving, money, screen tones. Like, do you know how long it takes to do screen tones? Hello there, Johnny. It takes so long traditionally to do screen tones. At that point, you just like pain. But no, seriously, like, for example, blackouts. It takes a click. You're saving so much time. Oh, that one. Oh gosh. Okay. Okay. That makes more sense. I think. Okay. So I said something about drawing earlier. There's a FLCL poster I actually drew a while ago, and no, I did not draw that one. Thank you very much. Yeah, that one's really cool. I love that. I love that poster. Why did I, I haven't looked like really looked in the background of me in so long, and like really thought about what I put there that I forgot that that was there. I'm looking for the painting I was talking about, so people aren't like, dude, what the? This guy weird. What the heck? Did I not? Oh yeah, I did post it. It's not necessarily a poster, but this is what I was talking about that I did. It was a painting on Procreate. Your work is absolutely is so beautiful. WTF, bro? You're insane. Well, thank you very much. Um, Kuzo, I have a small problem, and that is that it is difficult for me to apply perspective when drawing human bodies. Do you know how you can improve that, or is it just practice? It is practice, but it's practicing how to draw the simplified shapes in perspective. You want to know how to draw those in perspective because uh, if you can relate those simplified shapes to the more complicated shapes, such as when you always see people, for example, this is, let's say this is the perspective here. Yes, it's a little bit more of a complicated perspective. Deal with it. No, okay. And then you go ahead and you put in your chest piece here. Let's do it like this. I'm considering this as a chest piece, but it is obviously just a shape. It's like a cubish type of whatever the actual term is. It's a simplified shape. Um, Now, if you learn how to essentially take that shape in front of you like this and craft it, cut off, put the neck in, put in the top part, turn it into basically your rib cage, and then put in the arms. If you know how to take that and then cut in, cut in, cut in, cut, perspective, boom. You got your perspective going on here, boom, boom, boom. It takes a while to learn this stuff. This is why it's important to know how to at least create your simplified shapes. Now we have a torso in perspective. If you know how to draw that torso in any perspective, such as this, without even having to do the box, you then can start drawing that torso in that perspective. So that's what I suggest, because then from there you'd be like, well, then what about anatomy? Anatomy is essentially pieces of form that go over it. The form is the muscles. So you can take the muscles and you can end up putting it over like that. Yeah, so that's what I suggest. That's why I always encourage people. I'm like, ooh, wow, I totally skipped the actual hip area. There we go. That's why I always suggest people learn how to do at least simplified shapes in perspective. Because if you can't do those in perspective, how do you expect to do full-on anatomy? Like, because then you can go to like this one, and then you learn how to do like what collarbone here. And we also do the same thing with the chest. Pull in. We're looking at a form shape like this with the chest. Boom, boom. And then, yeah, so this is like a really rudimentary version of it, but this is the generalized idea. Yeah. Okay. What are we doing here? So I got that mostly done and that mostly done. So I'm going to okay, I'm gonna go ahead and not do this one. I'm not gonna ink this one because I want to give someone else some stuff to do. So rough pencil. I'm not really doing my layers clean right now, because I'm just kind of going with the flow. Blah, blah, blah. It's literally on your wall. Yeah, I forgot. All right, it's not. I haven't been streaming as much lately. Where can you publish your manga? Because where can you publish your manga? I mean, this is going on to Voice Me. It's actually made by. It's a Voice Me original. This is theirs. I'm just working with them on it. The poster is right behind you. I know. I'm never gonna live this down. Oh, how long did the painting take? That one took a while. That was before I understood, like, certain processes. Did you purchase any books when learning anatomy perspective or anything useful at all? I did not. I learned everything I know online. I am reading how to write books. That is one thing I do. Because it's a little bit different than drawing. Then again, I can also look up that stuff online too. But I was just looking up condensed versions of it. Because like when it comes to like certain styles and stuff like that, I learned everything online in YouTube and Pinterest like that. I just went out of my way to look it up. Got 145 people in here. Good to see us sticking at a nice little level here. It's really nice. My brain is melting. No, seriously, it's freaking melting right now. My brain is melting. Gotta be kind of clean here. Actually, let's do it this direction. Let's go boom. Oh, what the? I actually really like this pencil. What the heck? Huh. I potentially might switch over to this. Oh gosh. I really like this feature of the Clip Studio. I used to think it was weird, but Clip Studio on the iPad, I love doing this. Like, you use your finger and you just move it around. You're not double tapping it. It's just one finger and you're moving it around. It's so much easier to like scroll everywhere. It's really nice. Oh, sorry. Oh, what the fudge? As you can see, when I'm doing like a clean sketch, I can obviously go a lot faster than when I'm doing inking. So, because there's a lot more room to like have overlapping lines and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think that's good enough. Might take this mouth and move it forward. Alright, and let's see what chat's saying. That's fine. Alright. Excuse me. You just finished reading your first manga? If you're talking about like a finished manga, that's one of those things where it's like there are a lot finished mangas out there, but a lot of them are like really long. Got 148 people in here. Good to see everybody. Thank you very much. Got 290 likes. Thank you. I'm too lazy to draw ears. How do you draw? Ears. I have a really non-accurate way of drawing ears. What the? Oh, that's my spoiler, non-spoiler looking at thing. I have a really lazy way of drawing ears. This is how I draw ears. That's how I draw ears. It's not even completely accurate. Gonna be real. Oh, you finished your first volume of a series. That's awesome. That's awesome. Sorry for I only speak English. Sorry I cannot read the language that is being used. I'm sorry. See, you gotta go. Thank you very much for chilling with us, Tradesman Jags. I don't really check out streams too much, but I love your videos where you just sit down and sketch. Always so relaxing and inspires me to draw more. That's awesome to hear, KLO. Glad you're chilling in with us during this stream. Yeah, some people like those, some people don't. Or at least YouTube doesn't recommend them as frequently as they used to. So, thank you, YouTube. Alright, let's go ahead and go boom, shikalaka. That can stay there, that can stay there. This, oh nope, that's a vector layer. I'll go there, boom, boom, pull in here, do, sketch. Alright, let's go ahead and start inking some of this. Alright. Dang, you're streaming, but I gotta go to bed. Deuces, don't worry, I'm gonna watch the upload. Awesome. Thank you for dropping in, though. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And have a good night's sleep. Love your videos too. Thank you very much, Aubrey. Question. How stressful is making manga from your... I think my dog just made a sound. From your point of view, I'm in a different part. Like chapter 1 beginning. How is it from your point of view? I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but you must just mean how hard is it as you go along. I mean, for me, drawing it isn't like, yes, it's hard, yes, it's taxing, yes, you have to like keep up with it. That's the part where it's like you're obviously gonna have to keep drawing it, but I think the hardest part of manga is the writing, because without interesting characters and an interesting story, the art can only carry it so far. Of course, art does matter. It matters a lot. But I'm saying a series that falls off with its characters and its story, doesn't matter how good the art is, it's gonna go down, you know? Yeah. That's why there are so many stories that have subpar art that like go boom. For example, One Punch Man, not the one from Yusuke Murata. The original one had a very interesting concept and it was intriguing, and so then they ended up getting it in Shonen Jump and having Yusuke Murata illustrate it completely. The original one, the illustrations were, let's just be real, everyone knows they looked very bad. But the story was very interesting and intriguing. So. I gotta start working on the cover for this series. My only regret is I didn't record it. Didn't record the cover. Pull that manga, draws the whole stream. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. What do you think of VM? Oh, are you talking about Voice Me? Specifically, its potential in finding a place in the industry. I actually talked about that during one of the streams. Were you there during that stream? You might have left before I got to that point, maybe. My opinion on it is I believe it has a very unique place in the industry. Webcomics is taking over the West, and it's taking over the West pretty fast. And it's going to sit right beside manga in its own regard because of how free and accessible it is. It's just online when you're like, you can read it at any stage, and it's free. So, very accessible. You don't have to buy volumes. It's on your phone. That type of stuff, right? So, who's the players in the webcomic space? It's obvious that webcomics are going to be a competitor with manga now. Before, it wasn't really a competition because of how vastly different it was when they would get live actions, to which that doesn't matter, but I meant animated series. You're going to start seeing a staggering difference in the quality of webcomics, as well as how many webcomics start getting animes, as long as the anime succeeds. So if you take a webcomic series and the anime flops, it's going to make investors a lot less... It's going to make them a lot more hesitant to actually invest in a specific series and actually try to push for an animated series. But I don't think that's going to be the case with the success of Tower of God and the success of other things that are going to come along too. because they all have some pretty big fan bases that will hold it up pretty well. From there, what I'm trying to get at is a lot of the ones that ended up getting animated series, think about what they were. They're action series. From what I know, the ones that got animated series were more so action related series. Now, if you look at Webtoon's place in the webcomic industry, if you look at most of their top titles, the ones that they advertise on the front, if you look at them, they're primarily more so love stories and comedy and stuff like that. Yeah, sure, there might be some action here and there, but they are primarily focused towards that demographic. Now, Voice Me has a very unique place in that they are open to that genre, as well as they are also quite focused on action aspect of it, which is huge with teenage kids. Why do you think Shonen Jump's so big? So it's going to be a huge competitor in the West, and because the content's free, and I know technically I think Shonen Jump has a free portion to their stuff. I don't know how much it is, but how much of it's free. I paid for like all the back catalog stuff. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I feel like Voice Me's place in the industry is going to be taking the more broad, open approach to the industry. They're going to be accepting of more genres, and especially even if they're not as accepting, which I'm not saying they're not, but if they're not as accepting to romance series, it's kind of like the difference between going to a place to read some really awesome action series and going to a place knowing you're going to get some sort of comedy or romance series, like for example shoujo magazines versus shonen magazines, that type of thing. So I think it's going to target a specific demographic that I've noticed recently really starting to pop up. And like for example, I never really read webcomics, so I never really understood them that much, but I noticed the kids of this generation are starting to put many webcomics in the same league as these manga creators. And the bigger these series get, and the bigger teams they get, and the better quality they get, the more it's just you're gonna see the ball roll, and I can see it already rolling. Well, the coin concept is how they profit off their series, right? Yeah, how to make it free. They make it free through ads and stuff like that. Like, from what I know, I mean, that's what I would guess. I don't know for sure. I don't know the business of the company. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'd like to hear some of your guys' opinions on it. Plus, I really hope you guys enjoy what I've done with this series, because you're going to notice it looks much more like manga when you read it than it does specifically like a lot of the webcomic industries. Maybe it'll stand out, maybe it won't. I don't know, we'll see. You never know anything for sure. I should probably save this. iPads don't crash very often, but when they do, you're like, what? What has happened to me? Because they typically auto-save. What happened just then, that was actually an auto-save. I wouldn't have had to have saved. If it crashed, it would have had what that little auto-save was. Which is one of the cool things about iPads as well. They hardly ever crash. Alright, let's see. I only wanted to ask because I'm doing work with a studio, and I want to make sure the advice I give them is good. I mean, I wouldn't say take my word as like granite stone here. This is just like an opinion. Because when you, I mean, it's when you look at the field. First of all, they're growing fast. Second of all, when you look at the field and the open opportunity, there is no one who's dominating the field or filling that gap of action webcomic industries that give most of their content for free. Like there's just not. There might be some outliers out there, like some series that are like on Webtoons or something, but in general, there's just not really anything out there like that right now. Oh, I need to turn that off. There we go. This is also based on my experience working with them and their vision and stuff like that. So, and some of my other friends that work with them too. And the fact that, from what I know, they've told me, like, if it's your own series, you could literally post it in webcomic format and just put your manga pages on there, like a manga book. Got 123 people in here. Good to see everyone. Thank you very much for chilling with me when I do the artses. But yeah, like, from what I know, they would just let you do that. Not to say that they would necessarily make that one of their originals. I mean, I'm sure if it popped off, they would probably like want to take you in. Just like Webtoons, if something on there like popped off, they would take you in. But the thing with Webtoons is there's series on there, there are action series that have like crazy amounts of engagement and like fan base, but Webtoons will not take them in, from what I've heard, and it's because of specific demographics. I'm not completely like 100% certain on that, but I've heard quite a bit about that. And one thing that I think Voice Me could capitalize on, and that's all up to them. Like, I have no say in their company whatsoever. I'm just working there. Is I feel like they could capitalize on the webcomic manga scene. So the scene of people who would want to make their manga black and white and post it on there, or even a webcomic that's black and white and post it on there, and actually be something that they might take under their wing. Because one thing I have heard a lot about is how Webtoons, from what I know, just really won't take non-colored scripts. Like, they won't take those under their wing if they're black and white. They typically have to be colored. Kuzo out here trying to revolutionize webcomics by mixing manga style into it. Hope it comes to be. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like the first person to do it, but you can kind of see when you like look at the work, you can really see the manga influence behind it, like with the inking and stuff like that. Honestly, I wish I could take it even further manga wise, with like specific hatching and stuff. But if I were to do that, I would definitely need a bigger team in the long run. The team's already big, but I would need a bigger team with specific skill sets for those kinds of like hatching. So I would have like people who could do hatching for me and stuff like that, like assistants. I already have assistants. It's just the amount of work. Like, just for example, look at what in manga, like they have like 3-4 assistants to do just a black and white manga. Like, that's what I mean. And that's just on the inking and screen toads. So Did I finish inking this? No, I didn't. Honestly, I think it would stand out really well, a series that did that. And it would also make it easier on the colorists, because they could use more just gradients. They could put a color on, gradient in it, and sometimes put in a shade or a highlight. They wouldn't have to do as much coloring and as much thinking about the colors, because a lot of the atmosphere would already be set through hatching and screen toning. Like, for example, those colorists that color the manga pages, like fan colored color pages, and they leave in like the screen tones and everything. Some of those will look really crazy good, and they leave the screen tones in, and I've studied some of them before. Because I was like, oh, okay, they're not coloring normally, though. Coloring a bit different than I'm used to seeing. So let's do this with the hair. Do this. I think that works. Let's see. Yeah, I like it. I think it's good. What do you think? How many chapters are you looking to give Bounty's Gate? I'm not completely sure. I plan like a bunch of like pretty long part of the series, but I kind of wish I would maybe like, and I might even do this. I might decide to pull the series in tighter and have it focus specifically in on something instead of going as broad as I did. It wasn't supposed to be as long as I made it. Is the production rate crazy for you right now? Even if you have a team? Oh, you're talking about like how much work I have to do compared to like the team? Yes, in a way. I think when things streamline a little bit, there's always a learning curve in the beginning. Yeah, I don't like how Webtoons requires color, and closest to black and white I've seen is Live Forever. Have never heard of it, which was black and white and red. Yeah, so yeah, they do require a lot of it to be colored. If there's any like exception, I don't specifically know that much about it, but it's stuff that I've heard a lot about from creators in the industry. Do make the chapter on your own, or you have assistants? I do have assistants. So, for example, the colored stuff, I do not do. I have my hands like in the coloring, like trying to create a style, and style started like forming eventually, and then I think I'm pretty happy with some of the stuff in there. Some of it looks really, really good, and yeah, pretty happy with some of it. And for example, I do all of the storyboards, so all of the compositioning stuff. I can't scroll up, but all the composition stuff, I do all that. I do about 70% of the inking. Let's see if I have anything else I can do here. Alright, I got that done. Yeah, I do about 70% of the inking on this. That's the whiteout. Okay. Let me do this. And then from there, I don't actually specifically color any panels. There are panels that I did like heavy color editing on, and then had uh, the colorist kind of replicate it. Okay, are we gonna be able to ink from this sketch here? That's the question. What program are you using? I am using Clip Studio Paint on the iPad Pro 2017 model, 12.9, 256 gig. How do you even get paid for webcomics if they're free to read? I don't know the business side of everything, but if you go to a website and they have ads on it, they do get ad revenue. From there, I'm not sure. Like, I don't know anything about business side of that stuff. So, but that's what I know about that. Um, that's how a lot of people are able to give out stuff for free, is using ad revenue on their site and stuff like that. For example, when you go on to Solo Leveling site, they have ads on it, and they're going to be able to keep up their site and pay people and stuff like that. Advertisement sponsors, yeah, exactly. So you might have sponsors in the background, but in general, you're going to have something that's generating revenue past just the sponsors. But yeah, Patreon maybe too. I don't know if Patreon would really be something that keeps a whole company afloat. Like, these companies don't have like a Patreon they tell them to go to. But for a specific creator, yes, that is definitely a thing. For like a solo creator. I wonder what you're drawing. I'm drawing webcomic. Webcomic manga stuff. I call it manga because you're gonna see heavy manga influences when you go into it, but you're gonna see me trying to like bring manga and webcomics together, and they hug and they talk. Okay, I need to plug in my iPad here with my extremely beat up cord, because this is my old iPad screen. My old iPad. Honestly, this isn't the cord I was using. Someone else was using this cord, and my cords always look much more pristine. Gotta dip and do some comes. Good luck, bro. Well, thank you very much. Good luck on your commissions. Thank you for chilling around. Okay, I got 117 people in here and 338 likes. Thank you very much, guys. Got 122 people in here. Good to see everybody. Hey, what's up, Mixer D with the super chat? Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I think I remember you giving me a super chat in the last 2 streams as well at one point. Thank you very much. Bye, Attack on Art. Oh, someone's leaving. See you later, Attack on Art. Oh, I see it. See you later. Have a good one. Gotta go now. I need to work on my vids. Awesome to hear. Go and work on your vids, man. Good luck. Hoodie? What is going on in chat? body going down like that. Let's make this a leg. Hmm. Might hear me making a bunch of sounds because I'm trying to figure out, without actually drawing this, how I'm supposed to be inking this foot and shoe and stuff. Yeah. I think this is good, yeah. Alright. I think this will work. I wonder if I should add... So I have two choices. I can add another foot over here, or I could take the foot and I could add another foot chilling over here, which is what I kind of did right there. But that would require it to be at a specific perspective. So I think I'm just going to add one over here. Oh, that was horrible. Wow. That is also very bad. So I'm going to go around like that and dip in, dip in, dip in. There we go. That's better. Okay. I got 125 people in here and 347 likes. Thank you very much. By the way, your art very inspires me. Oh, by the way, your art very inspires me. Watching your videos has helped me make my manga, and I overall love your art style. I only have 24 pages of my manga drawn, but you help me to keep going. That's awesome to hear, Samuel. I'm glad to hear that. Keep going, keep going. Alright, let's keep going here. Speaking of keep going. Okay. Yeah, okay. I understand. Got 133 people in here. It's funny to see it like fluctuate between the people who are coming in and people are leaving. Chat is definitely a little bit more quiet than it was. Oh, you can see my back is kind of bothering me. I've been doing this like all day. What is up with this music right now? It's copyright free music that I got from YouTube a long time ago. Long time, Kuzo, my man. Good to see ya. I don't know if I want to say that word on stream, but yo, son. I'm sure it would be fine if I said the word. I just like to avoid it. What time is it there? It's like 11 a.m. Here it is, 9:26 here. Dang, 9:26, huh? Preferably, I like to get all this done before 12. Honestly, I was hoping to have most of it done by now. Actually, most of it, that's actually kind of true. So this page, I don't have very much work left on 17. This page, I have one sketch I need to do on it, which is kind of a big sketch. I have this, which is going to be a copy paste. I then have one. So basically, I have this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4 panels left, because this is going off to the assistant. The top panel here's going off to the assistant as well. Yeah. What app do you use? I am using Clip Studio Paint on my iPad Pro. Kuzo, what manga is that? This is The Madgate. Going to be published on Voice Me weekly. I don't know if I can officially say this, but it's like it's pretty certain it's coming this month. When I'm saying I'm pretty sure it's coming this month, we have a set date. So you never know what happens in life. Things go crazy. So but that's why I'm saying I don't want to like step on anyone's toes. So but yes, it should be coming this month on Voice Me. I will be starting to have links in the description and stuff. I haven't really linked it up yet because we don't have a specific page that I know of, because it hasn't like officially gone out yet. So, but once we have an official page, I'm just gonna have the link to the series in the description. Hey, what's up, Inu Pen? Good to see you, man. Launch month. This is so exciting. Thank you very much. I hope you like it. I know how much you grind, man. You go crazy. Yeah, you probably do more work than me, to be honest. Yeah, definitely go check out Inopen. He's got some stuff rolling. He's got his own manga. I think he's got more than one webcomic he's currently working on. Yeah, I believe he's actually working with the same writer as me too with another stuff. So he's got a lot of stuff going on. Ugh, that pinky, bro. Looking pretty gnarly. Trying to get that inking without actually drawing. So they're gonna be viewing it at about this distance. Okay, so you might look at the hand and be like, that's not the best hand you've drawn. And I'd be like, I know. Sometimes it gets better, sometimes it gets worse, okay? I'll slowly get better and better, okay? Sometimes you gotta, when you've been drawing all day on a few hours of sleep, you just gotta, let one of the hands slip, okay? Hey, what's up, Klain? So Klain in the comment section that says, yo, Inu, Klain is the other inker on the project. So, good to see you here, man. Most of the panels I have here that I'm going to be having you ink aren't actually showing except for this one because I don't want any spoilers. But there's going to be a bigger panel up here that I actually am going to be sketching out and giving you some lettering to do. Some lettering. Do you like the noise a nuclear heat reactor makes? Yes, by the way, I already read that and then I decided to read it to you guys out loud because I was like, what? what is being talked about right now? Yes, I love crawling in nuclear heat reactors and just listening to the beautiful sound of death in my ears and in my skin, and I just love the cancerous lesions that will come within minutes. I don't know if they come in minutes. I don't know anything about that stuff. Hey, Kuzo, loving the stream. Hey, thanks very much, Klain. Thanks for chilling in here with us. Have you done the cover for it yet? I actually have the cover. I haven't actually done it yet. I didn't know if I want to stream it. There's a lot of things that I haven't streamed and I haven't really put out there, so there's going to be a lot of like new things that you just haven't seen. Because I think the cover would be cool to do on a stream, but I also think it's one of those things that's cool that when you launch something, you see something, you've seen teasers, but then you launch it with maybe like a really cool cover or something, and people are like, oh, I haven't seen this yet, cool, awesome, that type of thing. That was Bounty's Gate Chapter 1 release. So I'm actually planning on, I've been thinking really hard about this, and I've been thinking to actually get some of the, since this is going to be weekly, it's going to be 50 panels a week, I've been thinking to give myself a little bit more incentive to do more of Bounty's Gate. I've been thinking about doing, it doesn't matter about how much or how much per week, but doing like weekly updates on my Patreon that would eventually go out public once the chapter's done. So basically they would be getting all the behind the scenes coverage of Bounty's Gate while I'm working on this. So it's like people aren't over there like, where's content? They're already getting 50 panels a week of this, which I'm not writing. The writing on here is going to be better than what I can do. My writing is, close to a kindergartner's writing. So yeah, and then I'll just do that on the side so my Patreons could get my manga content. Then it will go out public eventually, and I can be like, hey, you looking for content from me? I'm getting 50 panels a week out there for you guys on Voice Me. So yeah, I think that's a good plan. That's what I've been thinking about. So that way I can at least, even if it's like 1 page a week, 4 panels a week or something for my Patreon, at least you guys there would be getting some stuff. As well as like sketchbook pages and everything. Man, I'm taking forever on this. Because at this point, I've been going for a while. Not specifically on stream, but all day. So my brain's starting to kind of melt. You can also hear my voice starting to melt too. Oh my goodness. Okay, what perspective is this in? I'm going to see the bottom of that a little bit, yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and... Which direction does it go? This. Right? I think it goes that direction. Elden Ring stuff. Hold on. Where are my albums? Okay, the Managate. I was like, where are they? Okay. Sometimes I just can't. Oh my gosh, it doesn't even show it good on this one. This one's derpy. Okay, I think it's curving in. Okay, I think I know which way it goes. Stupid inconsistencies. Okay, wrong way. It goes this way. So, yeah. Okay. No, that's the way I just did it. Brain melting. This way, so we're gonna be going that way. Right? Do I swear if that is the same way? What am I doing right now? So that way, we're gonna be going this way. Okay, I'm done with my life right now. I don't know why this is happening anyway. How do you keep screen protectors from becoming slippery with dirt and grease? I don't. They kind of just become slippery with dirt and grease. And then I wipe them off. Oh, it's not showing that. It's showing all crooked since I picked it up. Come on, go straight. Bam! Don't tell me I can't do something. I do nothing but post at the moment. Sounds like a good plan. How do you keep your screen... Oh, I already read that one. Good. Just waiting for the food to cool down. Ooh, I hate waiting for food to cool down. Man, my stuff is kind of like getting all glitchy looking. Got 132 people in here. Good to see everybody. Hey, what's up, DD Draws? Brandon Chen? Yes, Brandon Chen is the writer for this series. And scroll up here. And thanks for the love. You're doing great on this page. Thank you very much, Inu, if you're still here. And no problem for the love. Just catching up on some chat here. Oh, crap, I'm gonna write something down. Box drawing, YouTube, Kuzo. Is it okay to draw in Android? Yeah, you can draw in whatever you want to draw in, as long as it works properly. I would say that there are some there are a bit better programs on iPad, iOS. Like Procreate, Clip Studio. Well, Clip Studio is on Android too. But one thing I would say is Android compared to iPad, the stylus is on a whole different level. But I think I am going to be ending the stream pretty soon here. I'll try to go for some longer streams at some point when I can actually do stuff that is spoiler free and my brain's not completely melting. because I need to focus, put on some good music, and get the grind on, if you know what I'm saying. Streaming is what it is, and it looks like my screen's getting a little glitchy too. I think my computer's getting a little warm, because I'm getting a little warm. I am definitely getting a little warm. Let's go here, go down there, pull that in there. You barely made it to this stream. Sorry, it's gonna be ending soon. It kind of sucks. But the whole stream's gonna be up. After. Should be. It might. But in any case, it was super fun. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. Glad to see everyone here. We always stayed right above 100 people in here. That's awesome to see. It's always awesome to see. But in any case, hopefully all you guys are having a good day or night wherever you are. And going to go and do some more work on this. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.